What's up, guys? Welcome to the 91st MAViSMITH Podcast. That's a lot of podcasts.
That is a lot of podcasts.
Yeah, we've got a new setup. We're trying something new. We tried something, it failed. We tried something else and it failed. We tried something again and it failed. But now we are running an iPhone. We are running
an iPhone.
And we are running a camera. Okay, I really thought we were going to be cool and do it at the same time.
Yeah. Oh, right.
Not wavelength.
The iPhones are in 720p. So they might not look nice. We're just testing it out for file size, see how long an hour is in that kind of format, and then what we'll do is if the file size is great, then we'll bump it on up to 1080p or 4K. But for now, yeah, it's where we're at.
Now, we wanted to kind of put more effort into our podcast, hence the reason why we've stopped streaming it. And we wanted to have multi-camera setup. Obviously, we cannot afford multiple DSLR cameras. So we have two very good webcams, which are not very good webcams. So now we've got two phones and a camera. This will be a monthly podcast from now on, maybe bi-weekly, depending on if we can get someone else on, Will or Rob or whoever. But for now, it's going to be a monthly podcast with the odd bi-monthly sprinkled in as well. We got a few topics today that we'll go over. I got a couple stories as well, and then we're going to take questions from Curious Cat, which I've got up here as well. So before we get in, how are you doing?
Not bad. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm not bad. It's it felt nice setting up the podcast again because we haven't done that in a while.
Yeah.
We haven't set up a podcast in a hot minute.
Yeah.
Let's get straight into topics then. But we'll get to all the personal stuff later. So I'll put a timestamp in for that kind of stuff. But we'll keep it for now. We'll just keep it with the topics for now. So we'll start off. The first thing I want to talk about was Sonic. And obviously you do VFX, so you can understand what it'd be like having to redo the entire movie.
Oh, those poor guys. I mean, they shouldn't have done it wrong in the first place, but still, those poor guys. Yeah.
I see. I think, and I'm a firm believer. Obviously, you like good conspiracies too. I think they did it wrong to generate buzz, because I find it hard to believe that they agreed the Sonic visual. Whatever it was, it wasn't Sonic. It wasn't our boy Sonic.
I don't know, man. Like, it's difficult to say because to specifically make Sonic look that bad, if it was a conspiracy, in my opinion, they wouldn't have had to redo the whole film. Unless they didn't. Like, obviously, we don't know. Maybe they just did those scenes for the trailers. But to me, if they've had to spend all this time redoing it and we've only just had a trailer and they've lost a lot of money in the time that's been lost to do it, I can only assume that it wasn't a marketing ploy. Also, like, you never know those kind of things because they could make the Sonic look a bit weird, a bit human, and people could turn around and be like, oh, yeah, actually, that's quite cool. Bear in mind, like Cats, that film, when it came out, and everyone was going mad about how weird they looked because they were superhuman. It was just odd. So I don't know, like, it's hard to judge. I don't know.
It's bizarre. I mean,
it's a lot of work. Redoing that is a lot of work.
It's funny how perfect. The only thing that throws me off is how perfect they have it now. You know, it looks perfect now. It looked god awful before. How do you go from god awful to like perfect?
I don't think it looked bad before, as in bad visual effects.
No, it looked bad for
weird, like not right.
Know, if Sonic didn't exist, it wouldn't matter.
But then, yeah, like it's. Because it wasn't bad work. The VFX was good. The shading was good. It looked nice. But the issue was it just looked too human, and that was the problem. It just looked weird. It was like, imagine if they made Pikachu and the Detective Pikachu like more human. It would just, you know, he was like cute and fluffy, even though he had like Ryan Reynolds' voice. And then if you just put it on the flip side and make him look proper human, it would have been really strange. So they went down the weird, I don't know, like. All he really changed was his eyes and his colour, though. Like, he looks pretty much the same. He just got bigger eyes. Yeah, that was what it was. It was the eyes and then, like, the stash or whatever it is.
If you watch the new trailer...
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it looks great.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Did you watch the original trailer?
Yes.
It didn't look great. But my issue was never with Sonic. He looked shit, but at the same time, I can't see the movie doing that well anyway. But now... not only do I want to see it because I think it looks good now, but I also would go and see it anyway because of the fact that they listened to the people. And they were like, you know what? And as a thank you to the however many VFX people that broke their backs and worked overtime on overtime.
Yeah. What I think you might actually be right on is, if I'm right, or if I could be wrong, in the original trailer, the scene where Sonic jumps out the car and blows up the car pursuing him, I'm pretty sure in the first trailer, when they had the wrong version of Sonic, they had a normal car that he blew up. But in the new trailer, it's a Sonic, like brand, like a Sonic from the game, like one of the black and white, like dome cars. But I'm pretty sure in the original trailer it was just a normal like SUV, which means they hadn't done the SUV, the VFX. And what they would do, so a VFX artist, what they'll do when they want to do like a fake car being blown up, if the whole car is a 3D model and they have the budget, they might go into it and actually have a real car there first of all to get the physics looking right. And then they'll blow a real car up on the road, have that flip into a field, so they've got the motion and the physics and the gravity right, and then they'll paint that out and put in their fake model but replicate the movement of the real model, so they get real life physics for a fake. It sells the effect better. So I think maybe that could be.
It is a dome car.
Oh, it is. Okay, my bad. I thought it was an SUV, and I thought, oh, maybe you're right, because if they had an SUV, they obviously weren't finished the VFX.
No,
so.
yeah. Well,
right,
they
okay.
pushed back the they pushed back the release date as well because they were like, we're gonna fix it.
Yeah.
It just seemed to work so well in their favor. Not only did they get, you know, they got absolutely crapped on by everyone for how bad it looked.
Yeah.
And now they're like laughing, and they're laughing on the way to the bank because people are, you know, coming in left, right, center. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I like to think that they got it wrong. They were like, sorry guys, like, we're going to do it right this time. But the amount of work, it makes me feel sick knowing that, like, can you imagine putting something together? But I get like, from like a VFX standpoint, by watching it back, by like, you're paid to do a job, so you will do the job that you're paid to do. If you don't like it, you might try and be like, I think we should do it this way, but then at the end of the day, you're getting paid to do something you won't have a say in what it is.
Yeah.
So I just can't believe how it didn't get put out anywhere, and how no VFX artist was like, oh, by the way, hit up like, you know, Collider or any movie review and be like, here's a leaked image of what it's going to look like if you thought it was that bad.
Yeah.
So I just think it just seems so weird that I don't think as a VFX artist, if I was to sit and do that Sonic, there's no way I could do it without laughing and being like, you really want to put this out? Like, and then they're like, yeah, sure, but all right, cool. And then just snap a picture and be like, hey, what the hell was going on here?
Yeah.
Like, I think being as bad as it was, I found it very surprising that they kept it as secret as they did.
They would have had to have a meeting when they were designing Sonic, and when they were before they sent it to the VFX company, or maybe with the VFX company, that when they sat down in the meeting, they would have made a decision whether they made him look human or not. And then they would have given it to the VFX team. The VFX team would have usually quite a fair amount of sort of artistic direction of how they want it to look, and they'll send it back to the company and be like, right, this is the first, you know, they'll probably do a screenshot first. You know, this is how it look. Are you happy with this? And then they'll be like, yes, no. So was it Sony doing it?
I literally, I've just tried. I'm just trying to find out now. That's what I was just typing in.
Because it was a Sega game, wasn't it? But I don't think they have a a production company.
Is it? I think it is Sony. If I'm
I
honest.
thought it was Sony.
Yes. I believe so it is. Let's just boot up the trailer and have a look. Yeah, no, I Sega. No, it's Sega.
No, it's Sega.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I didn't know whether they had sold the rights to.
Yeah, I had no idea.
But yeah, but I mean, with that being saying, it's super. It was just super distracting to watch.
It
wasn't really my.
It's the same problem with cats, wasn't it? People were like, this is so weird. They look very human, but they're cats and they have fur and tails and stuff. Yeah, odd.
Okay. The other thing I've got here is, have you seen the trailer for Fantasy Island?
No.
So Fantasy Island, is a movie where they go to. It's got Michael Pena as the bad guy.
Oh, I like Michael Pena.
And it's super bizarre because he's the bad guy, and I really want to see like a spooky, a spooky Michael Pena, because I think he could absolutely nail it. But The enigmatic Mr. Rourke makes the secret dreams of his guests come true at a luxurious tropical resort. But when the fantasies turn into nightmares, the visitors must soon solve the island's mystery in order to escape with their lives. So the movie it's got Michael Rooker in it. It's pretty much, they're like, oh, you can come here and you can get your fantasies, but then they start turning weird. Like, one of them is she wants her high school bully to get tortured, but then she walks into this room and then she's getting tortured and she's like, this is really cool, like, this is what I wanted, this is my fantasy, but then it's real. And she's like, oh, how are you on this island? She's like, I don't know. And she's actually getting tortured. She's like, no, I don't want this.
Right.
So it's a really cool idea. I didn't know whether you would catch the trailer, but it's
no.
It looks really bizarre. There's a lead actress in it though. I can't remember her name, but she is awful. And there's a scene where she's like really weird. She's like giggles and just slowly walks away from the camera. It's to be creepy, but in the trailer, it just didn't make it. You were just like, Okay, then not much really to talk about that. It just looks super bizarre.
Yeah.
I was gonna we were gonna show the trailer before we sat down, but it was a bit of a rush to get all the cameras set up, so we didn't have much time. Apart from that, on to my next topic: Mixer versus Twitch versus YouTube gaming.
Yeah.
The other thing I want to talk about before that is last night, Dr. Disrespect won Streamer of the Year.
Oh really?
Yeah. Which I thought it was gonna be. I've really been where we haven't like streamed anymore on Twitch. I've started briefly on Mixer, but I haven't really been paying attention to that world. I haven't really watched a streamer in a while, unless it's been like Terry or Rob or Ali or whatever, Mini Muse. But it was just weird how like 2017 and then 2019, the only reason why 2018 Ninja won it is because obviously he pushed Twitch to a whole new level. But
yeah, it feels like it's only Twitch. It's only Twitch, isn't it? It's not any other streaming service.
No, all streamers.
Even Mixer.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
So it's weird. Like,
well, Twitch is the biggest still currently, so I'd imagine it's because the doc stuck his ground and kept the figures up and.
Yeah, because it's interesting because Mixer reported. I was reading an article like 2 weeks ago. They reported that they haven't had a surge in viewers. They've had surges in viewers because of the streamers that they've purchased and brought over, but they haven't had like an abundance of viewers, which is really interesting because that's like, for example, Shroud still gets almost what maybe just over half of what he was getting on Twitch, but then obviously he's getting paid a paycheck to stream rather than streaming
and getting
getting donations and stuff. He knows what he's putting in, and then on top of that he gets sponsors and and it's and I use this analogy when I was talking about this on stream the other day. It's like if football contracts didn't exist and people just played for who they wanted to play for.
Yeah.
Okay? I'm going to use Frank Lampard because my football knowledge is terrible.
Yeah.
That shows how bad it is. Imagine if all football players on Chelsea were just playing for Chelsea because they wanted to play for Chelsea and they liked the name and the manager. But then all of a sudden, Arsenal buy the player. They're like, I'll give you 10 grand on top of whatever you're earning, whatever, to come play for us. And then there's and then like Chelsea's like, oh well, I'll pay you to stay here. And then like West Ham's like, well, I'll pay you to come over here as well.
Right.
So it's like all streamers, just because of Ninja's move to Mixer, it's made companies kind of be like, it's kind of made companies go, oh shit, we can start buying players now. So like, everyone's being brought. Shroud. There's this deaf Fortnite player who I really want to catch one of her streams on Mixer because she's deaf. How can you play a video game, like a competitive video game like Fortnite?
Yeah, that must be super difficult.
She plays for FaZe, but she's like, this is a question I want to talk to you about as well. She's 14 years old. Can she stream Call of Duty?
It's a really good point.
Can she play an 18-year-old game if she's under 18? The guidelines are the guidelines.
Yeah.
You're allowed to play them, but it's parent. I thought it was 18 or minimum, like how you can't go into a cinema if you're not 18.
So, what the difference is there is basically if your parent is 18 is a guideline. It's so that it's basically companies and film production companies protecting their own backs, so they can't be sued for the content they show, so it gets a certificate. With games, because it's a personal property, if your parents or your guardian or whatever allows you to buy that game and play it, that's their decision, and they can't blame you for what you're seeing on that screen and what's inflecting your mind.
Okay.
With a movie cinema, they have to say no because it's their responsibility, not the parents. That's their responsibility to stop you from going in, so they are responsible for stopping you to see that certificate movie, because a kid doesn't have to get their parents' permission to go walk into a cinema. But when they buy a game, there's always that age rating at the desk as well.
Okay, and on Steam, when you go onto a game page to buy it, it will say, how old are you?
Yeah, that's just to cover their own back.
Yeah, but can she then lie?
Yeah.
And then play it? But then be like, well, Steam could then just ban. I thought it's weird, isn't it?
It's not.
It really confused me. I was like,
I don't think it's not like an illegal thing. Like if you're 14 and you can gain access to 18-year-old content, I don't think it's technically illegal, because it's basically a guideline. And I mean, you shouldn't do it, but I think the crux is, if someone's gonna go out their way to do it and they get caught, it's like, well, it's their own problem, if that makes sense, because it's their mind that's going to be warped by whatever they're seeing in a way. I think when you're 14 anyway, there's not much that's going to make a difference between a 14 and 18 certificate, in my opinion. Once you're 14, I mean, you hear 12-year-olds on buses saying every word under the sun and talking about gore and saying the C word and
stuff.
stuff.
Talking about this, I was walking to work. This is a complete tangent. I was walking to work the other day, and a kid walked past me, and he called me, and he dropped the C-bomb.
Why?
There was no one else walking. It was him and his friend. He was in like a tracksuit outfit, and his friend was in like a school uniform, and it was like 8:30 in the morning, so it was like people walking to school. The guy must have just been dressing and then changed me or whatever. And he walked past me and just dropped the C-bomb, and I was like,
oh, what, in conversation?
No. To me, they weren't talking. As I walked past, I had my music in, but I was picking a song, so I couldn't, and I was scrolling to try and find a song. And he just walked past me and dropped the C-bomb. I was like,
Did he say like you see, or did he?
Yeah. And I was like,
so bizarre.
And first of all, dick move, because I can't be like,
Can't do anything.
I can't talk back. He wins. He won.
Yeah.
He walked off and he win.
He wins no matter what you do.
Yeah, because he's walked. He's walked off. He hasn't let me be like, sorry. He just walked.
Well, regardless, even if you said sorry and you end up in a fight with him, you'd be going to prison because he's a minor. You might just ignore it. Yeah, they're just little shits.
This is the people that like. It just blows my mind. Like, I had my headphones in. I wasn't like I was like stumbling or I was smiling at people. Like, headphones looking at my phone like this.
It's just kids, isn't it? It's like especially English kids. They just know they can get away with it. They know that, realistically, you can't really do anything other than tell their parents. And if they're saying that anyway, their parents are probably scumbags anyway, because they obviously been taught the word. So, at the end of the day, it's like, well, what can you do? You've got to sort of just ignore it, sticks and stones and all that. If they attacked you, I'm sure self-defense and all that jazz. But
it was, I meant it purely. It was just so weird. I texted him. I was like, yeah, I guess what just happened to me on the walk to work. Yeah, right. Yeah. So going back to mixed versus YouTube, do you understand the idea I was trying to make by everyone just oh. But it's so funny how everyone's like, oh, we can do this. But could you imagine like, a year ago being like, oh, hey, why don't you make a stream? I don't know why they don't, like, all the big names. I can't remember who said this. I think it might have been it might have been a dog clip I saw. One big streamer has said, why don't all the big streamers come together and make their own platform? And like they will bring all the viewers with them. They're all friends. They're all friends. They all play together, whatever. But now you've got, Dog hasn't come out with it yet, but he's kind of implied that he's getting paid by Twitch now. So
of course, he definitely will be. Like he will definitely be getting paid by Twitch to stay.
After doing Streamer of the Year as well, Twitch will have a
Oh, they're gonna.
But then he was like, he said, why would I move? You'll get rid of all my competition. He is now the biggest Twitch streamer. But then I said this the other day, and I tweeted about this. If you go on Twitch right now and you have a look at their page, their like browse. So the first game is League of Legends with 193,000 viewers. Then it's Pokemon Shield and Sword. Now League of Legends is a competition on the moment.
I'd assume so.
It's not. No, it's not. It's just someone with 40,000 views called Long Tyler. And then there's the second one, Pokemon Sword and Shield. That again, that's one of those games that comes in abundance. Then it goes.
Yeah.
So that'll be gone as well. Star Wars 106 viewers, that people are getting paid to play that because it just came out.
Yeah.
The next one is Just Chatting at 94,000 views. You go on there and Chill Sundays, movie night later, Hong Kong Live, and then Mean Girlfriend and I podcast, gaming news 24/7, giveaway every 15 minutes. So like, and then you go to the next one, Fortnite 81,000, and then it goes down to 79,000. Like Counter Strike's on 50,000.
Yeah.
So it's taken a hit on Twitch because, like, and I've always said I will see Twitch will be the biggest streaming website for anything live streaming, but you'll be using Mixer or YouTube for gaming. Whether or not something else comes up, you know, I'm still surprised why Netflix haven't tried.
The day that will
I think you
really
said that
be
before on the MAViSMITH. He was like Netflix should start getting into. You said like the streaming world, and I think you said porn as well, right? Because that's like the third most watched content on the internet.
If Netflix had like an 18+ section,
don't they have stuff like that on there though? I'm sure I've scrolled past it like as I'm trying to find something to watch. It's like maybe it's not actual porn, but it's like I don't know. It's like weird stuff. It's like documentaries.
Maybe. I've never seen it. I'm sure there's like films and stuff with sex in it, but actual porn, there's nothing like that on there. But because they're the big streaming platform, and I wouldn't be surprised if they do this with things like all the other stuff going out. If they went and approached a big porn company, what's the most popular, like Brazzers or something, if they went and approached them and was like, oh, we'll do you a deal where you just sign to Netflix and you release all your content onto here, and you just are under the part of the same regime, and they put the premium up, I mean, people would pay for that because people want to see their films, but you know, a lot of people enjoy watching porn because it's just part of, I mean, the adult life. A lot of people do it, so it's one of those things. You'd have to have parental guides to stop kids accessing that section. But if they did that, and then that gaming and streaming as well, I would see it as being one of the most subscription platforms in the world, because it already is, but now it's going to start losing because the films are going and Disney's taking their movies. If they had everything in one place, a lot of people would pay for that service and they could raise the premium for it. So I'm surprised. I mean, yeah, I don't know. It's difficult because right now I think the thing that will really change the tide in my eyes would be if Mixer host a big gaming competition like Counter-Strike, Dota, League of Legends. The day that happens,
that's what they're gonna. Yeah.
That's a big move, and that's when the views go, and that's when they'll flip because people make Mixer accounts. They've already got they've already got Microsoft accounts. Most people have had a Hotmail or an Xbox. If not an Xbox, then a Hotmail, vice versa, at some point in their life. So
they've already partnered up with Discord, and they're giving away free game passes for like £1 for 3 months. If you're a Discord member, you can apply for Discord. But I saw someone saying, the Mixer screwed it because the viewership's not going up. It's like if they're dropping however much they are, which are rumoured to be, in the millions, they have a plan.
It's Microsoft, isn't it?
Microsoft, yeah. So
Microsoft have got more money than Twitch, about 10 times over. So
Amazon, isn't it?
But are
Amazon giving Twitch as much money as Microsoft's putting into Mixer? Amazon. See, this is why I think it's different. Amazon own Twitch. They don't really, they own it. But Microsoft made Mixer. So, with that being said, what screws them is that Sony won't let them on their PlayStation. You can't get Mixer on PlayStation because it's Microsoft. Even though people are trying to campaign for it, but it's like, so if Microsoft actually own it in terms of they made it and own it, Amazon just own it. So
they won't have that financial investment.
Yeah, but like they have that emotional investment as well. Like if you was the owner of Microsoft, in comparison to the owner of Amazon, you would put more money into Mixer because it's your own thing. Yeah. And if you're Twitch, you're like you got Amazon going on over here, and you got Twitch, you're like, chuck them a couple of whatever. Oh, you want this? All right, we'll talk about it. Yeah. So we just had to do like a jump thing, purely because the cameras can only record for 25 minutes. So hence why the camera might have moved this a bit, or one of the cameras might be off. But whatever. Okay, let's talk. I want to go for a couple stories, just some funny stories, just to quickly wrap off before we hit the questions. Something happened 2 days ago that is hilarious. So I work in a place called London Bridge, and across the bridge, my friend Will works. Our friend Will works, and I ordered a pair of jeans, and I sewed the bottom of my jeans because they had a hole in them. Not a very small hole, but I sewed them up because it's cold, right? And at work, I jumped up. It's hard to explain, but I jumped up and I like went like this and I held it and I put my leg up and then I jumped up and pulled myself up and I had a rip. And I can explain to you how big the hole was because, you know, it was instant cold. Like, it was instant. It was no like, it was giving shit. It was instant just, you know, hypothermia, right? Yeah. The hole was about this big. I've got a picture of it on my phone. It was about this big. And it was bad. It was so obvious, right? And obviously I'm at work and I was going out for drinks later with Will and like his work lot. So I was like, this can't float. And there's no shops around London Bridge. So Will was telling me earlier about how he was really quiet. He had nothing to do. He had to wait till 5:30 to send off some files at 5:30.
Right.
So he was just chilling around. He went to the pub. I hit Will. I was like, hey, there's a H&M 10 minutes from you, 5 minutes, 10 minutes from you, and then you're a 18-minute walk from me. I said, can you go and get me some jeans and bring them to work? Because I can't go anywhere. I couldn't, like, Emma was like, oh, Matt, go do like could you go put this in the rubbish area? I was like, hell no, dude, I'll scare everyone away from the market. So he went, all right, that's fine, no worries. And he went to H&M and I said, cool, 36 waist, skinny, black jeans. Simple as that, okay? He goes inside, he's like, oh, you didn't order them? I was like, no, I can't. You can't order H&M. There's no delivery for H&M. So I called him and I said, no, just 36 black skinny jeans, whatever. And he calls me back and he goes, there's no jeans here. I was like, huh? And he goes, there's no jeans here. I was like, you're in H&M, right? I said, yeah. They have like 70 different styles of jeans, like of all different colours. He said, no, there's none here. He went, oh, I'm gonna ask. He put the phone down. I asked her. She said they don't have jeans. I was like, where are you? And then he was like, no, I found like trousers. I was like, okay. He's like, yeah, they're trousers, but they're 36 skinny. I was like, are they black? He went, yeah, they're jeans, but no, they're not jeans. They're like trousers. I'm like, they're denim. He went, yeah, they're denim. I'm like, there you go, they're jeans then. It was this material. He handed them to me, and I went, I said to Emma, I was like, if I get that bag from him and they're jeans, I'm gonna laugh so hard. And they were this material. I'm like, these are jeans, and they're trousers. I'm like, how are these not jeans?
Yeah.
And I changed over and I threw the pair away. And then we went out for drinks and a guy joined me from work. And I was like, oh, what are these, Ed? And he went, oh, they're jeans. I was like, thanks, Will. And I was like, the audacity. And anyone who doesn't know what H&M are, I don't know where they are in the world, but they're quite popular.
I think they're everywhere. Yeah. As in like American.
They do jeans more than they do T-shirts.
They do loads of stuff. Yeah.
I was like, Will, you're so smart. How do you not like... Because he only wears blue denim jeans.
Yeah.
I was like, denim doesn't just have to be blue. Like, this is denim. Like, denim is that like, you know, that like thick. Yeah. And I was like, you're an absolute joke. And then the other thing I'll talk about is when I get lifted to the station in the morning, there's a care home right where I get out. You know where you know where we when we go. Mm-hmm. There's a care home. I have now been working every day, and I would say 3 times a week there's been an ambulance at that care home. Every morning I've been dropped off there.
Shit.
And I want to know, like, what do you think's happening in that care home?
Well,
that there is there is an ambulance there, and every time I'm on dropped off, she's like, there's another ambulance there. And then I got picked up and there's another ambulance leaving it. I'm like,
oh, okay. What kind of ambulance is it? The big square ones?
Yeah, big square one.
I was going to say some care homes have ambulances always parked there just in case.
No, because I've seen it come and go, and I'm just like, what is going on in there?
It's either an ambulance rest place, because ambulance crews sleep in their cars. So what they do is when they're on break, they'll park up in a specific location and sleep in the cab of their ambulance to have like a nap on their shift. Usually only at night though, not at like 6 or 8 in the morning or whatever. So it could just be either one patient's been backing in and out of hospital, or it could be there's just been a lot of death there, like, or illness. It could have been an infection.
It was constant, like,
it's a cold snap.
There and there. And the first story I have, the final one, is we had Remembrance Day on the Sunday, the 10th of November, or the 11th of November. No, Saturday. Oh yeah, on the Sunday.
Yeah.
And on the Monday there was a 1-minute silence in the market I work in, and I am a big fan of silence. However, when someone forces you into a 1-minute silence, everything becomes hilarious. And it's so hard. And it's hard because you're being disrespectful when you laugh. But Emma and I were standing there, and I was standing at the stall, and a guy came in to buy something. but there's like 80 people standing, not talking, staring towards this wall with the rose petals on it and stuff. And he was just like tapping his cup on the side. I'm like, I'm trying not to laugh. And then Emma saw and she's trying not to laugh. And then like, and everyone's just...
Yeah.
And then...
was he not from England, the guy? Okay.
And I was just like... And he was like... And then he walked off and he didn't come back. I was like, whatever. But then above the market, you know, I don't know if you would have seen it, but there's like a glass building above the market where you can walk around. There's like a restaurant up there. And this woman walked out of the restaurant and looked down and just saw like, you know, 80, 90
like
people like this.
Yeah.
And she
like the rapture.
She walked down and she went... and then she went... And then like walked back in, and I was like, could you imagine how like she walked?
Yeah.
Like, all of them looking, staring at her because she walked out literally the you know the way it was. Oh man, it was great. But this girl, she started playing this trumpet or whatever the fuck it was.
I don't know. I wasn't there.
Yeah, no, but she started playing this musical instrument.
Flute,
whatever it was. Yeah, it played music. And she was terrible. She was not great. I don't know. I think I could have done a better. No, I don't think I could have. But she was awful. There are people you can get to do better jobs, you know. She was awful, but it started off really like, you know, like holy. And this guy, who was not English, put a giant bit of baguette in his mouth from bread ahead. So like it was like, but he did it slowly, so it wasn't like too like. But then he did it really slowly, and I was like, and he was like.
I love that.
But it was like,
I love that.
Yeah. But he was trying to.
The poor guy must have been so hungry to not be able to wait a minute.
Dude, you can't, like, you know.
He's like,
yeah. But yeah, that's all my that's all my personal stories out the window. If you want to discuss?
On the way here,
on the
way
spot,
here, I'll talk about this driver. On the way here, to get here to where we did the podcast at Matt's, there's a road. You come off like a big, sort of a motorway, let's say, and as you come off the slip road, it splits into 2 lanes. But because you're coming off of a slip road, you can't come back down that lane, so it splits into 2 lanes, but it's one way. And at the end of it, if you want to go right, you get in the right-hand lane and left, obviously left-hand lane, and that's it. That you can't come down that road because it's coming off of a motorway. It's a slip road. Anyway, the road that you're joining is a 2-way road. So I'm turning right in the right-hand lane, which would usually be the left-hand side of the road, but it is quite confusing if you're not from England, I suppose, because it's all backwards. So I've pulled out. Anyway, there's a person waiting to turn left down this slip road. I'm thinking, no, this ain't right. I think he's broken down or something. I could see him in the driver's seat, like tapping his steering wheels. And I was like, oh no, this ain't right. This can't be right. So anyway, I've pulled out and I thought, maybe he's broken down because he was just sitting completely stationary. And I was like, what is this guy doing? As I've gone past, I've looked in my rearview mirror and I've shown him to slowly turn left and go down this slip road. And I thought, oh my lord, he in his passenger seat he had wood, metal, all of these things that he must have got from like B&Q or whatever. And I thought, this guy's gonna die. He's gonna just go head on first into oncoming motorway traffic at 70 miles an hour. God knows what's happened. I've got to go back down that road in a couple of hours. I'm sure we'll see a bit of a mess. But God, I was like, what?
Wood everywhere.
Yeah, yeah. God, it was really bad, but it's kind of funny at the same time. I'm sure he's fine, but God.
Right. Should we do some curious cat? So basically, we've found this website called Curious Cat, and they allow you to send anonymous questions, and we want to help people with issues that they have. And sometimes being like, hey guys, can you talk about this? You might not want us to know. So in the description, I'll be putting this in. Every question that we answer, we will delete. And then it will allow you to just keep making questions. Don't submit anything stupid, because obviously if you just won't answer the question, it's weird. But if you want to know if anything in particular, obviously let us know. So the daily question for today is, if you could exchange lives with any celebrity for a day, who would it be and what would you do?
God.
I would be Keanu Reeves, purely so that I can promote John Wick.
Yeah, yeah.
No, I would be Keanu Reeves because everyone freaking loves you.
Yeah.
And a day walking around, you could do anything as Keanu Reeves, and and everyone just loves you. You could like stab a cat, and they'd be like, screw the cat. Screw the cat, it's the cat's fault. They really defend...
Keanu, everyone loves him.
Really defend Keanu. So who would you be?
I think I'd be Bill Gates, and I
Just give
would
all your money away.
just spend a ridiculous amount of money on something so stupid, but publicly. So like everyone go, Bill Gates lost the plot. He's bought a 70-foot teddy bear.
We're being really close-minded here. You be Bill Gates, I'll be Jeff Bezos or Elbows, whatever his name is.
Yeah.
And then we'll give the money to us. You give your money to you, and I'll give my money to me.
Yeah.
And then we can then do our
completely
shit and just
blindsided,
donate, and we can just donate the money left, right, and centre, and have our own money, and sorted. And then they're broke, and technically we're Bill Gates and Jeff Bezos.
Exactly.
So.
And then they'll start a YouTube channel.
And then they'll start a YouTube channel, yeah. And then the roles.
Still Bill Gates playing John Wick or Guy Fawkes.
The other question is, okay, so I'll just go down the ones. I've got how tall are you both? 6'2".
5'9".
5'9". Inspirations for any of your content? There's one that you should have like that.
Which one?
Come on, bro.
Inspirations for our content?
Yeah. You mentioned their name whenever we start playing a video.
Sorry, inspirations. Oh, sorry, yeah, no, I thought you meant for like a specific video inspiration.
No.
Biggest inspiration is YouTubers, Corridor Digital, or Corridor as they're now known. But yeah, those guys are, and the Corridor Crew channel, they're incredible. I guess them and the Slow Mo guys are just like, just some of the best content on YouTube, in my opinion. I could sit there and watch Corridor content either from the Crew channel or from their main, and same with Slow Mo guys from their main or second for hours on end. I love those guys. Yeah.
See, inspirations. Like, there's people that I could watch tons of, but I don't have like a specific person. Like it's like I can't think of someone who I'm like, that person is like awe-inspiring. Like I can't. There's a ton of people that I could list off.
Yeah.
Like Edgar Wright, for example, is one name off the top of the head. Like anything he touches is pretty much, almost gold.
Yeah.
But then there's just a ton of people that I would, like all the what's his freaking name? Just a lot of people that are just come up in conversation. But there's not like I know for you, Corridor is like a big thing. Like, I think they're great, and they are a good inspiration.
Just following them for years and seeing like Ren when he joined the team, and obviously like Sam and Nico when they came from, I can't remember where they're from originally now, somewhere up Minnesota, I think. But they came to LA with the idea of doing this, and they've really nailed it, and they're very smart. They're brilliant at what they do, and then with Ren on the team and Jake and just that entire crew. Past or present, like even the guys that used to be there or there for a short amount of time, like they've all just done such a great contribution. They've all had their own individual spin that has made them so impressive. And like, I've learned a lot from watching the behind the scenes and watching what they do, and they explain themselves very well. They just seem like really nice, genuine people as well. That's what's nice to see. They're not, they're not your Logan Pauls and stuff.
It makes them a lot, man. They don't do it for any alternate motive,
Yeah, creators.
All right. Again, I have like over 20. I've got over 30 questions. So what we'll do is we'll talk over some, and then we'll save some for next week and whatever and so on. But I'll read from the bottom. So I'm reading from the top for this one, but next week we'll do in future from the bottom. Favorite film or TV show of all time and why? And also a scene. It's hard. I don't see. I'm really bad with like remembering things. So like. I'm a firm believer that in most things there is something incredible. So you can go from something like Breaking Bad. My favourite scene ever is when Hank pulls up to the RV and Jesse and Walter are in the RV, and he's like, and then he calls up his wife. That entire scene, and then when he finds out that it's a lie, and he's just staring. That entire bit, like goosebumps, just thinking about, absolutely incredible. But then you look at something like, what's that terrible hard softcore porn film we watched in the cinema with those girls that were like,
the one with the marching band at the end.
Yeah, it was like a marching band. That film was god awful, but there was one scene in it which stands as probably one of the best long takes.
Absolutely.
It was like a 4-minute long take around a house, and it was like all with the windows, and it was absolutely incredible. That film was god awful, but that scene was absolutely
Assassination Nation.
Assassination Nation.
Yes, that was awful.
People they're like, we need the name because this is not sounding true right now. Yeah, Assassination Nation.
But that long take was one of the best bits of cinematography, like in a film I've seen in the last 10 years. It's been brilliant, like really well done.
Yeah, how about yourself?
I agree. Breaking Bad's a good one, just because I always go back to either the scene where Walt saves Jesse by running over the spoilers, but runs over the two guys, shoots them, and he says run, because that moment is like, oh my, he saved Jesse from doing something silly, and then he's just like, that's the switch. That's when Walt goes from a good guy to a bad guy. But the other scene in Breaking Bad that sends shivers down my spines is when he finds out that Skylar gave all his money away. To I can't remember what it's to now. I think it's to the guy she was cheating with, to Ted. And he's under the floorboards, and he just goes to that hysterical laughter because he thinks that's it, they're all gonna die. And he just that laughing. Well, the first time I watched that, I was on headphones, and I was sitting there at night watching it because I'd been binge watching it. It's like 2 a.m, and I had to take a step away from my computer because it really, really sent chills down my spine because it was just so well acted. Yeah.
Do 2 more. What's your favorite podcast to listen to that inspired you to make your own? Mine.
You go on. You go.
So I'll let you think about it because I've got mine already. Mine would be the. It's not my favorite podcast now. I haven't listened to it in years. My favorite, the one that inspired me, and one of the reasons why I wanted to make a podcast for us was this guy called Woody's Gamer Tag. Do you remember? You must have heard it.
Yeah.
He still does videos now. I haven't watched any of his videos in a while, but he has this thing called PKA, which is Painkiller Already, and basically him and Boogie, it's 10 or so years ago. Boogie moved out of his house and moved in with Woody because of like issues. So
Toy Story.
Boogie and Woody, right?
And Buzz came along.
They made this podcast because they're like, we're just hanging out, let's do it. And then now they're on like episode like 400. They're whatever they're on now. And just seeing like these two guys that just were like, screw it, let's make a podcast and like, let's just go. And I saw you mentioned something about. You told me, you were telling me about Kevin Smith and that guy when he was like, I think you retweeted actually on Twitter.
Yeah.
About that guy who was like, oh, I was going to jump in front of a train, but then I was into your podcast. You made me laugh, and I sat down, and I cried, and then I got over it. Like, I find that like a podcast at the end of the day, we don't really get to talk much anymore because we're, you're editing a lot, and then I'm here editing or working or whatever. And it's getting towards Christmas and time, so we don't ever get time to sit down and talk about stories. Or stuff like that. So even for us, just to sit down and talk, it keeps like it's an hour of like comedy, and then obviously you guys get to know us more and that kind of stuff. So it's like, I'm looking at like 3 cameras.
Yeah, I'm so confused. I keep looking at the top of the tripods as well.
Yeah. So what about you? What's your?
I would say there's probably 2 for me. I listen to a lot of podcasts, like tons and tons, and my favourite one now is not the one that I listened to originally. I'd say one of the first podcasts I actually sat down and listened to all the way through was the Rooster Teeth podcast. I think those guys are hilarious, and again, really great content over there. So it's that they always never ever fail to make me laugh and cheer me up and put me in a good mood. But I think one of the best podcasts out there that really inspired me to try and make an audio piece of creative content that was actually well polished was there's one called Case File. It's an Australian guy. He talks about murders and crime, and it's all real true crime that's happened, solved or unsolved, and he gives you the entire story, and the research that goes into it is mind-blowing, and he can literally tell you what this guy was doing on what day leading up to. Incredible. And if you've never heard it, go and listen to it. It may not be a thing. I think everyone sort of likes a story or true crime or a mystery, especially if it's unsolved, to sort of think, oh, who could it have been? And it's obviously very gruesome and not nice to listen to because it is real and people do get murdered in these horrible, brutal ways. And it's not always the nicest podcast to listen to, but the amount of work and research that goes into it at that team, and the fact that it did start with one guy on his own, brilliant. Yeah, really.
All right, we'll answer one more. On your channel so far, or ones in the pipeline, which was your favourite to film and edit?
Favourite to film has to be Sam.
Yeah.
Sam episode 2 is probably my favourite to film, just because it was constant laughing. Just continuous laughing. Favourite to edit for me, probably the Meme Runner.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I think our best video ever is Meme Runner, and I still think myself. Our best video is Meme Runner. It's one of those videos where I can only see a few flaws in. Again, like this. So this is one thing I want to kind of touch on briefly. Is some videos are bad, but you have to compare with where they are in their, their timeline. So our podcasts are terrible if you're comparing it to someone that's got 8 cameras, one of those
A
like
team,
sliding, like
yeah.
a producer gets you questions.
Even a single person behind the camera to put questions and to control stuff and make sure it's working okay. We can't tell if anything's going wrong until afterwards. It's 2 of us.
Yeah, so we can't tell, and we'll have to sit there and edit it and cut it all up. So when you talk about that Meme Runner itself, for the time we made it and edited it, I just think it was such an incredible video. And I think funniest to film for me would either be the Sam or the Toto.
Toto was hilarious, yeah. Toto was hilarious.
Again, that video came from us just
goofing
around and just think, should we do this?
Yeah.
Like, we knew what we roughly wanted. We were like, should we do this? Like, the G Fuel thing was hilarious.
Yeah.
The bottle flipping and the table flip. Like,
yeah.
I
don't think we've ever done a video where we haven't had a good time filming it. Like, there's been stressful times, and there's been times where videos have got to a point where we're stressing out, but genuinely, like, just having fun. Like, even our Christmas Fear, it was just hilarious to have everyone on set and just messing around, and it's just constant laughter, and that's what you want on a set. You want professional, and you want, to get stuff done. But if you can have a laugh and really enjoy yourself, it come across on screen easily. Yeah.
All right, cool. Well, that's the Curious Cat questions. Hope you enjoyed this video, guys. I'm looking at both cameras in case one of them's not working.
Let's go to Central. Yeah,
let's go Central. Cheers for hanging out with us, guys. This is the 91st podcast. If you want anything specific, join our Discord, join our Twitter, and just let us know. If not, in the description, Curious Cat, hit the link, ask some anonymous questions, and we'll answer them on here. We will get to each question. Just today, we're a bit strapped for time, and we just want to make sure that it all works very well. So we'll be answering more questions next time. But anything from you?
No. Thank you very much for watching. This camera. Tell the world what you do.
I didn't know you were going to do that. All right, cheers, guys.
See you later, guys. Yeah.
Ciao.
Peace.